The Wii U is dead. And when I say dead, I don't mean just like its successor came out. I mean it is officially, even in the eyes of Nintendo, dead. Dead as a doornail. Doornail? Doorknob? Nail? Dead as a nail? I mean, pretty much every time a new system comes out, the company, it says, we are still going to be supporting the old system for a time, for a year, for 2 years, for something like that. Even if it's not always strictly true, like even if they just mean a handful of ports or some sports games or whatever over the year, nothing major, they still say it. You know, they still maintain that position. But Nintendo has not said that. In fact, they have gone on the record as saying, we are not making any more Wii U games. The Wii U is done. They said that even before the Switch came out. Like, before the Switch was even released, they were like, we're done. The Wii U is done. And it is very weird to hear them say that the Wii U is, yeah, it's dead. It's completely dead. Yes, the Wii U was something of a disappointment to me. Yes, I don't think Nintendo was in the right mindset going into the generation, but we've covered all that. We have talked about that endlessly. Me, everyone else, we've all gotten our fill of Wii U bashing, I guess. But I'm done bashing it. You know, I'm ready to move on, and I had a lot of good times with it. It's impossible to have a Nintendo system and not have at least some good times with it. I mean, even something like the Virtual Boy. Like, I have good memories with the Virtual Boy. I remember getting that and playing it and having a lot of fun. Nintendo systems just make memories, you know? They're just, there's just something about them like that. So I want to send it off on a positive note. I want to talk about the good times, you know? I want to talk about what the Wii U did right, like where it sits in my heart. So when the Wii U launched, I was out of town on a family trip, which was incredibly frustrating. You know, I wanted to be all excited and go to the midnight thing or the whatever 9 a.m. thing and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna get it first thing and just play the heck out of it. But I was out of town. I had to wait like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 extra days, which was, that was rough. I was like super afraid that they would run out of stock. Cause you gotta remember, the Wii did so well and the Wii's launch was so crazy. They were so in high demand that just about everybody was still like kind of thinking that maybe the Wii U would have a similar launch. Like even if we didn't know how the system would go, we still were like kind of expecting it to fly off shelves at least on day one. So I remember like calling Best Buy like from my cell phone and being like, are you gonna have some Wii U's? I didn't pre-order one. And they're just like, yeah, we got plenty. And I went when I got home and yeah, there were plenty, no problems there. I was excited to play it. The concept in general didn't like super duper captivate me, but I was just sold on the idea of just, you know, it's the next Nintendo system. It's an HD Nintendo system. I was very excited. And as I've talked about, I did have my first really close to the heart, like novel, fun, kind of exciting, thrilling experience was when I first got it with Nintendo Land. There was that brief period where I was just like, yes, this is something new and exciting. And you know what? It was all about that asymmetric multiplayer. Like Nintendo Land had a lot of fun stuff that I really liked, like a lot of the single player stuff. But for the most part, it was that asymmetric multiplayer. Like, I was really into that. The competitive ones, like I think in particular, the Luigi's Mansion one, where only the person with the gamepad could see the ghost, like that was amazing. Like, that was really cool. That was a very new kind of gameplay experience that really wowed me. I just wanted to play it again and again. In terms of pure hours, though, it was Pikmin and Metroid. Like, it was all about Pikmin and Metroid. The cooperative with I got 2 friends, and we just played the poop out of it. So, pardon my language. We played it so much. I was always Captain Olimar. They always liked to be the Pikmin, which was fun. Then flying Samus's gunship, like, I never had a better time flying a vehicle in a game. Like, the fact that you could move in full 3D motion, like go up and down, and then use the gyro aiming to actually shoot. Like, it felt so cool. It felt like I was animating this thing. Felt like just more free than any craft I had ever piloted in a game before. Wii Sports had more of a wow factor for obvious reasons, and I think in general everybody looked at Nintendo Land as just like the less successful and less effective version, like just lesser version of Wii Sports. But in my eyes, just in terms of pure gameplay, like Wii Sports was more about that sports emulation. I think Nintendo Land was just a better game. Like just as a game, as a video game, it just it offered a lot more to me than Wii Sports did. I love Wii Sports, but Nintendo Land, like, it was a big package. I think a lot of people kind of glaze over that part of the Wii U, and I think that does the game a disservice, because I think it was a really cool game. Then more on the asymmetric multiplayer side, the Zombie U multiplayer. Did you ever play that? Did you ever play Zombie U? Truth be told, I didn't even actually sit down and play through the whole game of Zombie U. I own it. But I played the demo and I really liked it, and it was really scary, and I never got around to playing it because it was too scary. But I did play the multiplayer with friends, and that mode where one person with the gamepad is like the zombie king or whatever, and you're spawning zombies and the other guy has to fight them, that was a blast. Like, I had so much fun with that, just like with Nintendo Land, that asymmetric thing. Like, it really was fun. Like, you really got to give the Wii U credit for that. That concept right there was a ton of fun for multiplayer. Then again, speaking of games that I didn't actually play all the way through, I just played the demos, which is pretty weird, pretty interesting that some of my biggest, most memorable experiences came from just like concept things, like just demos, just using the gamepad for the asymmetric gameplay and all that stuff. Like that is pretty funny. But anyway, Rayman Legends, like there was a demo and there was that challenge app. Do you remember that? I am not generally a score chaser. I am not generally competitive in terms of like rankings and stuff, and I certainly don't like doing things that are timed. Yet for whatever reason, I don't know why, but that Rayman Challenge app, like, I don't know how long it was on there, but when it first came on the thing, I was into it. I was really into it. I was like playing all the levels and trying to get the medals or whatever they were on all of them, and trying to climb my way up the ranks and playing things over and over and over again just to get a high score. And that's not the sort of thing I ever do, but I was really into it, man. And I was really into the touchscreen stuff, like how one person could be playing and then the other person would be touching with the little guy and collecting the thingies and helping him out and stuff, and then the levels where you run, and the endless runner ones where you're doing the music levels, the ones that really put Rayman Legends on the map at the time. Again, a game I didn't even actually play the actual campaign all the way through, but I played that demo and that challenge app like for a good solid few weeks. That was just like all I did. I was just so into it, and I think that's interesting. Okay, so we really can't talk about the Wii U's successes without talking about Splatoon. I would say that Splatoon was the highlight of the Wii U, at least in a more objective way, not my own personal one, but just in terms of impact and importance. Splatoon was that gem that we had all been waiting for. That very unique idea to just kind of blow us away. I was doing YouTube at the time when Splatoon came out, but I wasn't doing it like full throttle, I guess you could say. I wasn't trying to comment on just about everything I could. I wasn't being a loudmouth yet. So I wish that I were, though, because Splatoon is something that I feel like I could have really talked a lot about. Like it was so unique, and just the laying down the paint concept in terms of just like strategy and just how it affects the shooting gameplay. There was a lot to talk about, basically. It was really interesting to me. I think in that magical Nintendo way, they gave us something that looked simple, but really had a massive depth of just strategy, it was so much more complex than it looked on the surface. Yet it was still something that anyone could get into, and that was special. So I was not into looking at two different screens for single-player games. I think you could probably guess that from my seething, I might call it, Star Fox Zero review. But you know what it was great for? I think everyone can agree. It's stuff for just the map and item management for pretty much any game. Like, that is definitely a feature that I'm going to miss. It wasn't like a huge game changer or anything, but I'm gonna miss it. Playing Wind Waker and just having the map right there, not having to pause the game to look at the map or change your items or anything, and not even having to key around to items, just using the touchscreen. That was awesome. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. The game that's basically an M-rated Wind Waker. Same thing, just having that map. I played Rogue, which is the sequel to that, but it didn't come out on Wii U, so I bought it on my 360, and it was hard. It was really hard to play anytime I was navigating with the ship, because I didn't have that map. I had to keep pausing, so that is something I certainly appreciated. I'm at the very least glad that even if the Switch only has one screen, it does have that touchscreen, so at least you get the item management thing. The Wii U had a lot of good games that didn't exactly use the Wii U's unique functionality, but are certainly still worth mentioning, Super Mario 3D World being one of them. You'll probably know if you saw my review of the game that I was slightly disappointed with it because of its very low difficulty and its, its simplicity, really. But you could say that, in a sense, those two things can be a strength, because I really did enjoy that game, and it was just, it was so fun to blast through. It was like It's like drinking water. It's not too complex. You can really just chug it for as long as you want. It was a lot of fun jumping through and getting all the collectibles and stuff. Yeah, on the easy side, but that kind of just made it easier to play. And of course, that multiplayer, the dudes at Nintendo are the kings of couch multiplayer. I had way more fun with Mario than I thought I would. Even knowing just that they're the kings of that, and they make all these little situations where you're just like with your buddies and getting mad at each other and just having a lot of fun. Even knowing that, I think I was surprised by how much fun I had. Like, there was more laughing playing that game than I think I've had with just about any other game I've ever played, probably. I mean, just stupid fun. And then you've got Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I am not a huge platforming guy. That's just not my thing. I like my games to have just more stuff than that. I don't know, whatever, I can go on about it later. But that game, those two games, in fact, Donkey Kong, the two new ones, are amazing. Like, those are some of my exceptions. The first one was great, and then Tropical Freeze just captivated me like I think no 2D platformer ever has. That series is the exception. And Tropical Freeze, I actually didn't play it till pretty long after the fact. I played it fairly recently when they released the Nintendo Selects, $20. So I picked it up and my gosh, I loved it. I even went all completionist on it, even though I don't often do that with games, but it was just that fun to play. That game is a platforming masterpiece. Then you've got what is, in Arlo's eyes, the gem of the Wii U library. I think you know what I'm going to say here. Pikmin 3. I love that game so much. I love all the Pikmin games so much. That was the Wii U for me. Pikmin 3 was the Wii U. My Wii U is a Pikmin 3 machine. That was what got me so into the system before it even came out, having those trailers and stuff, just being like, there is a Pikmin game on the way right now, and I was just like, how much money do I have to throw at you? Because I will throw any amount in the entire world. The Wii U is the Pikmin 3 machine in my house. And it came fairly early in the system's life cycle or whatever, but I'm really glad it was there, because that alone was enough to make the Wii U, like, yeah, that made it worth it. Without Pikmin, I might have been like a lot more bummed, but hey, I got Pikmin 3, and I'm very happy about that. So if Pikmin 3 was my own personal highlight and Splatoon was the gem of the Wii U in terms of just newness and uniqueness, in just establishing a new IP, then I would say that Super Mario Maker is the game that best utilized the Wii U's unique features, that best justified the existence of the gamepad. First off, the game gets points just for letting us make Mario levels, which is something I think a lot of us have been wanting to do since, I don't know, the early 90s? But this is the game that made the gamepad mean something. I mean, Nintendo Land did too. It used it very well, but in terms of just importance, I would say that Mario Maker is it. Like, just having touch capabilities built into your system had level creation applications that were unrivaled on any other home console. Making levels and playing people's levels and stuff was fun just because it's fun, but like when I did it, it also felt like this was what the Wii U was made for. It was like, this is what it had been missing all along, and it always makes me a little sad to think about what might have been if it had been released earlier in the Wii U's life cycle. Like, imagine a world where Super Mario Maker was a launch title. How different would things have gone? Maybe not very different at all, but I will always wonder, because I feel like it might have been pretty different after all. Maybe the Wii U still wouldn't have sold 100 million units or whatever, but I think it definitely would have made some sort of difference. Well, Wii U, I'm sorry things had to go this way. I'm sorry you got so many good games that for various reasons just didn't appeal to a wide market. I'm sorry you were bogged down by a somewhat dated concept and that some of your games that could have been good suffered for it. But I'll always remember the good times. I'll always remember what we did have. Here's where I would make some funny clip where I go outside and bury my Wii U, or like stuff it in a closet with some sad music playing or something, or I give it like a Viking burial where I like send it off over a lake on a boat and then shoot flaming arrows onto it or something. But instead, it's going to remain sitting on my shelf so I can keep playing Pikmin 3 over and over and over again. At least until a port or something comes to the Switch, and in that case, I will throw my Wii U in the trash can. Just kidding.